Is your business pootling along instead of firing on all cylinders? Are you feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and frustrated? Do your dreams of financial freedom feel a long way off? Then this is the podcast for you. Little Voice, Big Business, with your host, Nadia Finer.
Hi there, welcome to Little Voice Big Business with me, Nadia Finer. Today we're going to be talking sales conversations, or discovery calls if you like to call them that. This is something which I'm often asked about. It's something that many of us, myself included until I learned how to do them, this is something that we build up in our minds into something scary, something difficult, something that we can't do. And I'm going to show you a really clever way of doing them, which is going to make your life a lot easier. And hopefully it's going to get rid of some of the fear and apprehension that you're feeling right now about the idea of having a sales conversation with a potential client. Okay. This is Nadia's no stress guide to sales calls. What I'm going to do is guide you through some different steps. Each step plays a part in building the conversation into a sales argument, if you like, a rationale for why the person on the other end of the phone or the person you're talking to should absolutely hire you to deliver your service. It's based on the premise that they have some kind of problem which needs solving, and you are going to listen to what that problem is and then offer them a solution. It really is that simple. So, problem, solution.
Aha.
There's no dodgy selling tactics. There's no ramming of your products down somebody's throat. There's no sweaty, uncomfortable, awkward moments at all, thank God. Instead, all you're going to do is follow these simple steps, and it's going to make life a hell of a lot easier. You may even get to the point where you actually enjoy these conversations. Okay, that might sound a bit radical, but I promise you that once you realise that these conversations can actually work, it's a bit of a buzz because you get to talk to your ideal clients, you get to wheedle out the ones you don't want to be working with, and you get to actually close the deal. I think for many of us, closing the deal is the most uncomfortable bit. And probably I used to be like this myself, the bit where you shy away from actually even going there, and you end up having a nice chat to somebody and then you let them go on their merry way, and you haven't actually offered them a way of solving the problem that they've been telling you about. So off they go, and then off you go, and you're thinking, damn it, I didn't tell them I could help. And it's really frustrating, and I think that if you struggle with that part of the conversation, it's going to be really tricky to get any clients, and therefore really tricky to grow your business. Before we get started, I just want to tell you how effective this method can be. A close friend of mine, who's a copywriter, needed a hand with her sales conversations, and I shared this technique with her. We talked it through, and the very next day, she put it into practice, and the money started rolling in. Now, I don't really like making claims like this unless they're absolutely true, but I'm not even joking. This method resulted in her, I think she said, making an additional $15,000 in her first month.
Wow.
Okay? $15,000 just by using this technique.
Oh, wow.
I think it's pretty effective, and it has helped me to grow my business too. In fact, I probably shouldn't be sharing this with everybody, but I figured that seeing as it's such a pain in the butt for lots of people, it would be rude not to. and I care about you and your business, and I want you to be able to help as many people as possible by growing your business. So I'm going to teach it to you too. Okay, here goes. Pens at the ready. First of all, you're going to say hello. The conversation, it's obvious really, but have a little bit of small talk to get the conversation started. So you're going to ask the person who you're chatting to how they've been, how their day is, how things are going. Now don't get into too much detail at this point. This is really important. So this is very top level, nicely find out how they're doing. So that's point 1, say hello. Okay, then you need to steer the conversation straight into finding out what they want. And that is point number 2. Find out what they want. You need to ask your potential client what their vision is for their business or their life. What's their dream? Depending, obviously, on the type of business that you're running. So I'm going to give examples throughout, but some of them you'll need to tweak to make it more relevant to your business. So let's say you're a fitness instructor. You will need to ask them what their goal is in regards to their fitness. Or perhaps if you're a nutritionist, about their diet. If you're a copywriter or a web designer, you might want to ask them what their perfect website would look like, for example. And then we need to uncover what this goal is tied to. So once they achieve this goal, what will they be able to do as a result? So if their goal is to make an additional $10,000 a month in their business, we need to find out why, because it's all very well having a number, but what does that actually mean for them? And finding this out is going to help you to understand where they're at, where their heart's at. What are they really wanting to do? Do they want to spend more time with their family? Or do they definitely not want to spend more time with their family? Do they want to buy lovely things, quit their job, travel the world? What do they actually want to do with their lives? And what is this goal, this achievement, going to enable them to do? Okay, so you can ask them all about it, build it into a clear vision. Okay, so you found out what they want. Next, you need to find out what's keeping them from getting it. So the funny thing is, when you first start having a chat to somebody, a potential client or customer, they often get into point number 3, the pain, first. And it's your job to steer them away from the pain and ask them about their goal first. You know what it's like. You get someone on their phone and the first thing they want to do is moan and tell you, oh, this isn't working, I'm stuck, my business sucks, I just can't lose weight, I'm terrible at writing copy, I'm a rubbish designer, it's all gone wrong. That kind of thing. Rather than getting into that immediately, what you want to do, like I've explained, is find out what they want first so that you know where they're heading to, and then you come to the pain. So this is number 3. What's keeping them from getting to where they want to be, to their goal? You can ask them what challenges they're facing right now, what's stopping them, and find out in as much detail as you can what's really going on for them. If they say they've got no idea, ask them to have a stab at it. Ask them to guess what they think might be going on that's stopping them from getting there. The kind of things that you're going to come across are probably things like not knowing where to start, not having a clear strategy, not enough money, not enough time, all that kind of good stuff. We need to understand what's really happening for these people. In your mind's eye, picture that you have got a goal, a point somewhere in the distance, and that is where your person is aiming to get to. But there's a bunch of jumbly stuff in the middle which is stopping them from getting there. So that's the picture we've painted so far. Next, point number 4, we need to understand their sense of urgency. So if they're not bothered when they get to their goal, if it's, say, a 10-year goal, they're not going to be that inclined to want to work with you or anybody else to do anything about it. So what we need to do is find out really how urgent is it for them that they resolve this problem? And what will happen if they don't fix it? ask them, literally, what will happen if you don't resolve those challenges? Where will you be, say, in 3 to 6 months from now, and if you don't do anything to sort it out, right? And then you need to ask them how that's going to feel. They're going to tell you things like, I really need to sort it out. I've got this goal, say the middle of next year. By the summer, I want to be wearing a bikini. If I don't reach that goal, I'm going to feel terrible because I'm going on holiday and I don't want to look terrible compared to all my friends. Perhaps it's more to do with their family and they'll say something like, we're saving up for a new house and we need to move as soon as possible. Unless I get my business in order, then we're not going to be able to do that, for example. So really make it real. Instead of something nebulous, some sort of random goal that's sitting there, it's sometime in the future, you've actually got a reason to make it happen. And there's a date in their minds that they need to resolve these challenges by. Okay, point number 5, confirming their commitment. So you need to find out whether the person you're talking to is ready to do something about it. So you need to literally ask them, and this is part of the closing process, are they ready to do something? Are you ready? Are you ready? To turn this around or overcome the problem. If they're not, I've never really come across anybody who said they weren't. If they're not, there's no point in continuing the conversation. If they're the kind of person who's happy to moan or happy to be unhappy, then that's absolutely fine. But in terms of ideal clients, you only really want to work with people who are committed to making a change. Okay, now for the really clever bit. Number 6, connect the dots. I told you a minute ago, didn't I, that we had a kind of diagram in our minds where you have this X marks the spot, the goal that you're headed to. Then you've got a bunch of jumbly stuff in the way. But now we need to find out what it would take to get from the point where they are now, say point Y, through the jumbly stuff or jump over the jumbly stuff and get to X. Okay, so what we're going to do, and you can use this sentence, I actually use it all the time. It makes it easier for me to remember what to say. You say something like, based on what you're telling me your obstacles are, or challenges or problems, it sounds like you would like someone to help you do blah-de-blah-de-blah. So what you need to do is repeat back what they've just said to you. So they mentioned to you previously that they have a bunch of challenges and that they want to get to a certain point. So you're telling them, based on what you've told me, that your challenges are, it sounds like you need someone to help you overcome the problems that they've told you about. So you're essentially repeating back what they've said, which is why during these conversations, good idea to have a pen and paper to hand, so you can write down what they said and then repeat it back. Okay? Then you're going to say to them, would you agree that if you could do these things, you'd be able to move things forward, either your business, your health, your book writing, your racing car driving, whatever the thing is, you would be able to move it forward. And then you insert the goal, making more money or losing weight or driving faster will become easier as people are drawn to you, or you're a better driver, winning races becomes easier, getting your book finished is easier, whatever it is that they were trying to achieve. So you've structured a sentence that includes the challenges that they're facing and the goal that they're trying to achieve. And you've basically parroted it back to them, showing that you're listening and showing them that you understand what is going on for them and what needs resolving. Okay? You just repeat that sentence and connect the dots. Right, we're getting there. I think you can probably tell that now. So now it's up to you to make a recommendation. And this is point number 7. And this is where you bring in whatever it is that you're selling as a solution to the problem that they're facing. So you need to say something like, So I'm thinking my program, my course, my book, my consulting package, my shiny, my shiny shoes, that's a bit random, my racing car tutorial package could be just what you need, okay? So you have to mention the product or the service that you're selling and position it actually as a solution to the problem that they're facing. So at this point, you go into more detail and explain exactly what it's going to deliver and how it's going to help. You say, obviously something like, it's going to help you to blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, you could say something similar to, just imagine in 3 months or weeks, you'll be doing X, Y, and Z. So this way, you're not really sort of doing the hard sell. All you're doing is showing the person you're talking to that they've got a problem and that you're in a great position to help them fix it. They've agreed that they need to do something about it, and you are now recommending what you perceive to be the solution, which just happens to be the thing that you're selling. So from there, from point 7, making the recommendation, we move to point 8, which I call the nitty-gritty. People need to know what's involved. They need to know how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, how it will be delivered, and all that good, important stuff. You're definitely not going to shy away from it. You're not going to get the heebie-jeebies when it comes to this point. You're not going to fail to mention it. You're not going to and ah and change the price at the last minute. I used to do that. And a top tip, I can't believe I told you, a top tip that will help you at this point is to pre-prepare a sheet like this. Pre-prepare the points that you're going to make and write down the price that you're going to offer it at. And don't change it. Don't undercut yourself. Don't, at the last minute, offer them a 50% discount because they sound nice. Nothing along those lines. You're going to stick to the price. So you've told them the nitty-gritty, how it works, the timings, the costs, the delivery method. So is it Skype calls? Are you going to go and meet them face to face? Do they get 3 sessions or 10 sessions or one long report? How exactly does it work? Okay, now people, prepare yourselves. This is the bit at the end that many of us, right by now most of you in the past, me included, probably didn't even get to this point. Okay, so we've done the nitty-gritty. We have, without breaking a sweat or umming and ahhing or hesitating in any way, we've told our ideal client exactly what's involved without worrying about it. It's normal. If you get your hair cut, you pay. Remember that. You don't go to the hairdresser and try and haggle over the price. Or leave without paying unless it's really, really bad. So this is entirely normal. Okay, number 9, we're nearly there. This is really important. Now you need to get commitment again. So you're going to say, do you feel ready to do something about this? Okay, it's a fairly unassuming sentence. And yet, it's something we probably never bother to do usually. We wouldn't really think to get commitment from somebody before we crack on with our conversation. But it's so important because by encouraging the person we're talking to continually confirm their commitment to say yes, you're more likely to make the sale. Okay? Then, drum roll please. Okay, number 10, close the deal. Before I learnt how to do this, I would never do this bit. I would just go, okay, yeah, okay, bye then. And then I'd put down the phone and think, oh crap, I didn't do it. I didn't even close the deal. What a waste of time. I'm such an idiot. And I'd really beat myself up about it. So let's talk closing the deal. And this is why it really helps to actually write these steps down And what I tend to do, I'm giving away all my secrets now, and what I tend to do is have a sheet like this, which I use for each sales call. I write the notes down the side of the page, and therefore I make sure I follow the steps. And then I've got the right structure, and I don't miss anything out, and that way I make the sale. Okay, so number 10. Now, I'm not going to say to you, you need to get their credit card details over the phone. I think that's dodgy. It's not something I would recommend, so I wouldn't do that. But instead, there are other ways that you can confirm the deal without actually getting paid immediately. So, one thing I would say is, great, let's get you booked in. Have you got your diary? Would you like to do your first session next Tuesday, for example? So that way I'm confirming with them when it's going to be. I can even direct them to a page on my website where the person could make payment. Or I could send them an email confirming what we've talked about with a link. But I do think that this cheeky calendar technique works really well, because at the end of the conversation, they've confirmed that they're willing to go ahead, they know how much it's going to cost, they've scheduled it in their diary, and they're ready to go. So then I explain, I'll send you my invoice right away. I do this using an online system, and therefore they can pay me immediately. And then boom, job done. It's easy. And I'll say something, I won't say boom, not to them, because they might think I'm weird. No, then I would say something like, that's amazing, I'm really looking forward to working with you, I'll be in touch very soon. You've left it on a high, you've closed the deal, they know they're getting an invoice at any moment, and you've booked them in, and that's it. Simple. Let's go through the points again, numbers 1 to 10, so you don't forget them. You start off by saying hello, number 1. Hello. Then you find out what they want, what their goal is. Then, number 3, you find out what's stopping them from achieving their goal. Number 4, uncover their sense of urgency. Is this something they want resolving in the near future? Yes? Great. Number 5, confirm their commitment. Number 6, connect the dots. That's the clever bit, remember? Number 7, make a recommendation, which so happens to be something that you can offer them. Number 8, tell them the facts, the nitty-gritty. How much, when, how long, and how it will be delivered. Number 9, get commitment. Again, noticing the pattern. Commitment. And number 10, close the deal. Show me the money! Okay, I'm hoping that this technique of doing discovery calls or sales conversations could in fact revolutionize your business. I'm pretty sure it's going to improve your conversion rate by quite a lot. So please do head over to my website, nadiafiner.com, and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear how this helps you. And if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. And then, of course, why not come and join my Facebook group, Little Voice Big Business, where we can chat and you can ask me more of your business questions. I'm really excited to hear how you get on with this, and if nothing else, it will cut down on the amount of deodorant you need to use when you're making your sales conversations, which has got to be a good thing for the environment. Although I'm not really sure how, but anyway, I'm sure it is a good thing, and I'm pretty sure it's going to help you pump up your profits, which is a very good thing indeed. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon. Bye-bye.
Little voice, big business.